If you are listening to this right now, understand something very clearly: your body is constantly trying to heal itself. Every breath you take, every heartbeat, every night you fall asleep, your body is repairing damage you may not even be aware of. The question is not whether your body can heal. The real question is whether you are giving it the right tools to do that healing faster, deeper, and more effectively. And this is where today's conversation becomes life-changing, because the foods you choose every single day can either slow down repair or accelerate it beyond what you thought was possible. Around the world, doctors, nutrition scientists, and longevity researchers keep returning to one powerful truth: certain foods don't just provide calories, they send instructions to your cells. They tell your body to reduce inflammation, rebuild tissues, balance hormones, strengthen immunity, protect your brain, and even slow biological aging. These are what we call superfoods, and today we are diving into the world's most popular and most researched 100 superfoods that help repair your body faster than you think. Now, when most people hear the word superfood, they imagine something exotic, expensive, or unrealistic. But the reality is far more empowering. Many of the most powerful healing foods are simple, accessible, and already part of traditional diets across cultures. Doctors don't look at superfoods as magic cures. We look at them as biological support systems. Your liver, your heart, your gut, your brain, your muscles, your skin, your immune system, they are all made of cells, and cells are built from nutrients. If the nutrients are weak, repair is slow. If the nutrients are powerful, repair accelerates. This is not philosophy. This is physiology. Let's start with the foundation of repair: inflammation control. Chronic inflammation is one of the biggest reasons the body struggles to heal. It quietly damages blood vessels, disrupts hormones, worsens joint pain, accelerates aging, and fuels chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, and even depression. One of the most powerful anti-inflammatory superfoods on the planet is turmeric. Used for centuries in traditional medicine, turmeric contains curcumin, a compound so well studied that modern medicine now recognizes its ability to reduce inflammatory markers in the blood. When inflammation drops, healing speeds up. People often notice less joint stiffness, improved digestion, and even clearer thinking. But turmeric doesn't work alone. When combined with black pepper, its absorption increases dramatically, turning a simple spice into a cellular repair signal. Another globally loved superfood is olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil. This is not just a fat. It is a medicine in liquid form. Rich in polyphenol and healthy monounsaturated fats, olive oil protects blood vessels, improves cholesterol balance, and reduces oxidative stress. In regions where olive oil is a dietary staple, rates of heart disease and cognitive decline are significantly lower. From a doctor's perspective, olive oil supports repair by protecting cell membranes. Healthy membranes mean better communication between cells, better nutrient delivery, and faster recovery from daily wear and tear. Then there are berries, small in size but massive in biological impact. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. These fruits are loaded with antioxidants that neutralize free radicals, the unstable molecules that damage cells. Think of free radicals like sparks flying around inside your body. Antioxidants put those sparks out before they cause a fire. Regular consumption of berries has been linked to improved memory, better blood sugar control, and reduced inflammation. For the brain especially, berries act like protective armor, helping neurons communicate efficiently and resist age-related decline. Leafy green vegetables deserve special attention because they are among the most nutrient-dense foods known to science. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard, arugula, and collard greens are packed with vitamins A, C, K, folate, magnesium, and plant compounds that support detoxification and cellular renewal. From a medical standpoint, leafy greens support repair by improving blood flow, strengthening bones, supporting the immune system, and feeding beneficial gut bacteria. When the gut microbiome is healthy, nutrient absorption improves, inflammation decreases, and mental health often improves as well. This is why doctors increasingly talk about gut health as the center of overall wellness. Let's talk about protein, because repair cannot happen without it. Your muscles, skin, enzymes, hormones, and immune cells all require amino acids. One of the most powerful protein-rich superfoods is eggs. Eggs are often misunderstood, but from a scientific perspective, they are one of the most complete sources of nutrition available. They contain all essential amino acids, choline for brain health, and fat-soluble vitamins that support hormone balance. For someone recovering from illness, stress, or physical exhaustion, eggs provide the raw materials needed for tissue repair. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel are another cornerstone of body repair. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which actively reduce inflammation and support heart, brain, and joint health. Omega-3s are incorporated directly into cell membranes, making them more flexible and resilient. This improves communication between cells and reduces inflammatory responses. Clinically, omega-3s are associated with reduced risk of heart disease, improved mood, better cognitive function, and faster recovery after physical strain. Nuts and seeds may look small, but they are concentrated packages of healing nutrients. Almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds provide healthy fats, fiber, minerals, and plant-based protein. Walnuts, for example, support brain health due to their omega-3 content. Flax seeds help regulate digestion and hormone balance. Pumpkin seeds support immune function and prostate health. When these foods are consumed regularly, they create a steady supply of repair-supporting nutrients that keep the body resilient. Now let's move into the world of gut repair, because a damaged gut slows down healing everywhere else. Fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and miso introduce beneficial bacteria into the digestive system. These probiotics improve digestion, enhance nutrient absorption, strengthen immunity, and even influence mood through the gut-brain connection. Doctors now recognize that many chronic symptoms, from fatigue to anxiety to skin problems, are linked to poor gut health. Fermented foods help restore balance and support long-term wellness. Garlic is another globally respected superfood with powerful repair properties. It contains sulfur compounds that support detoxification, immune defense, and cardiovascular health. Garlic helps reduce blood pressure, improve cholesterol profiles, and enhance the body's ability to fight infections. When consumed regularly, garlic acts like a daily defense system, protecting the body from internal and external stressors. Let's not forget legumes, including lentils, chickpeas, beans, and peas. These foods provide plant-based protein, fiber, iron, and slow-digesting carbohydrates that stabilize blood sugar. Stable blood sugar is essential for repair because spikes and crashes damage blood vessels and nerves over time. Legumes feed beneficial gut bacteria and support long-lasting energy, making them a cornerstone of preventive nutrition. Fruit like apples, oranges, bananas, and pomegranates also play a role in repair. Apples support gut health through soluble fiber. Oranges provide vitamin C, essential for collagen production and immune function. Bananas replenish potassium, supporting muscle and nerve repair. Pomegranates contain unique antioxidants that protect blood vessels and support heart health. These fruits don't just satisfy cravings, they actively participate in healing processes. From a doctor's point of view, hydration is often overlooked but deeply connected to repair. Foods with high water content like cucumbers, watermelon, and citrus fruits help maintain fluid balance, support kidney function, and improve nutrient transport. When cells are well hydrated, biochemical reactions occur more efficiently, and waste products are removed more effectively. Whole grains such as oats, quinoa, brown rice, and barley also support repair by providing fiber, B vitamins, and minerals that support energy metabolism and nervous system health. Oats, for example, help regulate cholesterol and stabilize blood sugar. Quinoa provides complete protein along with magnesium and iron. These foods support sustained energy and reduce metabolic stress on the body. As a medical professional, I want you to understand that healing is not about perfection. It's about consistency. When these superfoods become part of your regular routine, your body receives daily signals to repair, protect, and strengthen itself. Over time, inflammation decreases, energy improves, digestion becomes smoother, mental clarity sharpens, and resilience increases. This is not about short-term detoxes or extreme diets. This is about long-term biological support, and as we continue exploring the world's most popular and powerful superfoods, you'll begin to see how different foods support different systems in the body, from hormonal balance to immune defense to emotional well-being. Because true health is not just the absence of disease. It is the presence of vitality, clarity, and strength, and it begins with what you put on your plate every single day, even when you don't realize how deeply those choices are shaping your future health and how the next group of superfoods works quietly at the cellular level to rebuild tissues, protect your brain, and support longevity in ways most people never consider until they start to feel the difference in their own bodies when they begin to incorporate foods that science and tradition both recognize as powerful tools for repair and renewal, especially when we move into foods that specifically support brain health, emotional balance, and stress resilience, which becomes critical in today's fast-paced world where mental fatigue and burnout are becoming more common than physical illness and where nutrition plays a far bigger role in emotional well-being than most people have ever been taught. And this is where the next layer of superfoods begins to change not just how your body heals, but how your mind recovers and adapts as well, because healing is not limited to muscles and organs, it extends deeply into how you think, feel, and respond to life itself, and understanding this connection can transform the way you approach your daily habits and food choices in a way that feels empowering rather than restrictive, because once you realize food is information, not just fuel, everything starts to make sense and the body begins to respond in ways that feel almost surprising. When you finally give it what it has been asking for all along. When we talk about healing and repair, the conversation must expand beyond muscles and organs and move into the brain, because the brain controls everything. Your thoughts, emotions, sleep, appetite, motivation, stress response, and even your immune system are deeply influenced by brain chemistry. What most people don't realize is that the brain is one of the most nutrient-demanding organs in the body. It uses a massive amount of energy, and it is extremely sensitive to inflammation, blood sugar fluctuations, and nutrient deficiencies. This is why certain superfoods have such a powerful effect on mental clarity, emotional stability, and long-term cognitive health. One of the most respected brain-supporting superfoods worldwide is fatty fish, not just for omega-3s, but for how those fats integrate into brain cell membranes. The brain is nearly 60% fat by dry weight, and the quality of that fat determines how efficiently neurons communicate. When people consistently consume omega-3 rich foods, they often report improved focus, better mood stability, deeper sleep, and even reduced anxiety. From a medical perspective, this makes sense. Omega-3s help regulate neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which influence mood and motivation. This is why nutrition is now part of conversations around depression, anxiety, and burnout. Another powerful brain-repairing superfood is avocado. Avocados are rich in healthy fats, potassium, fiber, and antioxidants that improve blood flow to the brain. Improved circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reach brain tissue, supporting repair and protection. People who regularly consume avocados often experience more stable energy levels and fewer blood sugar crashes, which directly affects mood and mental endurance throughout the day. In a world where chronic stress is common, foods that stabilize energy and calm the nervous system are essential. Dark chocolate, when consumed mindfully, also deserves recognition. High-quality dark chocolate contains flavonoids that improve blood flow to the brain and support cognitive function. It also stimulates the release of endorphins, which enhance mood. From a clinical standpoint, moderate dark chocolate consumption can support stress resilience, especially when combined with an overall balanced diet. This is a perfect example of how healing foods don't need to feel restrictive. They can be enjoyable and nourishing at the same time. Let's move into the gut-brain connection, because repair in the brain often begins in the gut. Foods rich in fiber, prebiotics, and probiotics influence the production of neurotransmitters and immune signals. Foods like oats, bananas, onions, garlic, and asparagus feed beneficial gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids. These compounds reduce inflammation and support the integrity of the gut lining. When the gut barrier is strong, fewer inflammatory substances enter the bloodstream, which protects the brain and nervous system. Bone broth has gained popularity for good reason. Rich in collagen, gelatin, amino acids, and minerals, bone broth supports gut lining repair, joint health, and immune function. Glycine, one of the amino acids in bone broth, has a calming effect on the nervous system and supports sleep quality. From a doctor's viewpoint, sleep is one of the most powerful repair mechanisms the body has. Deep sleep allows the brain to clear metabolic waste, consolidate memory, and regulate hormones. Foods that support sleep indirectly accelerate healing across the entire body. Now let's talk about hormonal repair, because hormones act like messengers that coordinate repair and regeneration. When hormones are out of balance, healing slows down. Superfoods like cruciferous vegetables, including broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage, support liver detoxification and hormone metabolism. These vegetables contain compounds that help the body process excess estrogen and other hormones more efficiently. For women's wellness especially, this can support menstrual health, reduce symptoms of hormonal imbalance, and protect long-term breast health. Seeds like flax seeds and sesame seeds also play a role in hormone balance. Flax seeds contain lignans that support estrogen metabolism, while providing fiber that stabilizes blood sugar. Stable blood sugar is essential for balanced cortisol, the stress hormone. When cortisol remains elevated due to chronic stress, the body stays in a constant state of alert, prioritizing survival over repair. Superfoods that calm this response allow the body to shift back into healing mode. Let's not overlook magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Magnesium is involved in hundreds of enzymatic reactions, many of which are related to muscle relaxation, nerve signaling, and energy production. Magnesium deficiency is extremely common and often shows up as muscle cramps, fatigue, anxiety, and poor sleep. From a clinical perspective, restoring magnesium through food can significantly improve recovery from physical and emotional stress. Another often underestimated superfood is mushrooms. Varieties like shiitake, maitake, reishi, and lion's mane have been studied for their immune-modulating and neuroprotective properties. Mushrooms contain beta-glucans that support immune balance, not just immune stimulation. This means they help the immune system respond appropriately rather than overreacting. Lion's mane, in particular, has shown promise in supporting nerve growth factor, which plays a role in brain repair and cognitive function. Herbs and spices deserve attention as well. Ginger supports digestion, reduces inflammation, and improves circulation. Cinnamon helps regulate blood sugar and reduce insulin resistance. These effects may seem subtle, but over time they significantly reduce metabolic stress, allowing the body to allocate more resources toward repair. Now consider the role of iron-rich foods like lentils, spinach, and red meat in moderation. Iron is essential for oxygen transport. Without adequate oxygen delivery, tissues cannot heal efficiently. People with low iron often experience fatigue, weakness, and poor exercise tolerance. Restoring iron through food, rather than supplements alone, supports balanced absorption and reduces side effects. Vitamin C-rich foods such as citrus fruits, kiwi, bell peppers, and strawberries play a direct role in collagen synthesis. Collagen is the structural protein that supports skin, joints, blood vessels, and connective tissue. When vitamin C intake is adequate, wounds heal faster, skin remains more resilient, and blood vessels stay stronger. From a medical standpoint, vitamin C is not just about immunity, it is about structural integrity and repair. Let's talk about hydration again, but from a cellular perspective. Coconut water, for example, provides electrolytes like potassium and magnesium that support nerve and muscle function. While not necessary for everyone daily, it can be helpful during recovery from illness, intense exercise, or dehydration. Proper electrolyte balance ensures that cells can maintain their electrical gradients, which are essential for nerve signaling and muscle contraction. One of the most powerful yet overlooked superfoods is simplicity itself: clean, minimally processed food. Ultra-processed foods place a heavy burden on the liver, kidneys, and digestive system. They increase inflammation, disrupt hormones, and slow repair. When people replace processed foods with whole foods, the body often responds quickly. Energy improves, digestion becomes more efficient, and mental clarity returns. This is not because of restriction, but because the body finally has what it needs to function optimally. From a lifestyle medicine perspective, food works best when combined with other healing habits. Regular movement improves circulation, helping nutrients reach tissues more effectively. Sunlight exposure supports vitamin D production, which influences immunity, bone health, and mood. Stress management allows hormones to normalize, shifting the body from survival mode into repair mode. Superfoods amplify these effects, acting as catalysts rather than isolated solutions. As a doctor, I often tell patients that the body is not broken, it is adaptive. When it receives poor input, it adapts in ways that protect short-term survival. When it receives supportive input, it adapts toward health and resilience. Superfoods are part of that supportive input. They don't work overnight, but they work reliably when consumed consistently. As we continue deeper into this journey through the world's most popular superfoods, you'll notice a pattern. The foods that repair the body are the same foods that cultures around the world have relied on for generations. Modern science is now validating what tradition has long understood. Healing is not found in extremes. It is found in daily nourishment, mindful choices, and respect for the body's natural intelligence. And this brings us into the next layer of repair, the immune system and metabolic health, because immunity is not just about avoiding illness, it is about efficient recovery, resilience, and balance, and metabolism is not just about weight, it is about how efficiently your body converts food into energy and repair signals, and understanding how specific superfoods influence these systems can completely change how you think about energy, aging, and long-term vitality, especially in a world where chronic fatigue, insulin resistance, and immune dysfunction are becoming increasingly common, and where the right nutritional choices can quietly reverse trends that many people believe are inevitable with age, when in reality they are often the result of years of small, correctable habits that simply need to be aligned with how the body was designed to heal and renew itself. When we shift the focus toward immune repair and metabolic balance, the conversation becomes even more relevant to everyday life, because this is where people feel the difference most clearly. Energy levels, resistance to illness, recovery from stress, and even how fast you bounce back from minor infections or injuries are all tied to how well your immune and metabolic systems are functioning. The immune system is not a simple on-off switch. It is a highly intelligent network that requires balance. An overactive immune system creates inflammation and autoimmunity. An underactive immune system leaves you vulnerable to infections and slow healing. Superfoods help guide the immune system back toward balance rather than pushing it in one extreme direction. One of the most globally respected immune-supporting superfoods is citrus fruit, not just because of vitamin C, but because of the complex synergy of bioflavonoids that work alongside it. Oranges, lemons, limes, grapefruits, and mandarins support white blood cell function and improve the body's ability to neutralize pathogens. From a medical standpoint, vitamin C also supports adrenal health, which is critical during periods of stress. Chronic stress weakens immunity, and foods that support stress resilience indirectly strengthen immune defense. Another immune-supporting powerhouse is ginger. Ginger improves circulation, supports digestion, and has natural antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties. People often underestimate how important digestion is for immunity. Nearly 70% of the immune system is associated with the gut. When digestion is weak, immune responses become inefficient. Ginger gently stimulates digestive enzymes and improves nutrient absorption, creating a stronger foundation for immune repair. Honey, especially raw and unprocessed honey, has been used for centuries as a healing food. It contains natural enzymes, antioxidants, and antimicrobial compounds. From a clinical perspective, honey supports throat health, wound healing, and gut balance when used appropriately. While it is still a form of sugar, its biological effects differ from refined sugars because of its accompanying nutrients. Moderation and context matter, but when used mindfully, honey can support immune resilience rather than weaken it. Let's move into metabolic health, because metabolism determines how efficiently your body uses energy and builds tissues. Insulin sensitivity is a major factor here. When cells respond well to insulin, glucose enters cells efficiently and is used for energy or repair. When insulin resistance develops, glucose remains in the bloodstream, causing damage and inflammation. Superfoods that support insulin sensitivity can dramatically improve long-term health outcomes. Cinnamon is a simple but powerful example. Studies have shown that cinnamon can improve insulin sensitivity and reduce blood sugar spikes after meals. This reduces oxidative stress and inflammation, allowing the body to focus on repair rather than damage control. When blood sugar is stable, energy levels are smoother, cravings decrease, and the risk of metabolic disease declines. Vinegar, particularly apple cider vinegar, has also been studied for its effect on blood sugar regulation. When consumed with meals, it can slow the absorption of carbohydrates, reducing post-meal glucose spikes. From a medical perspective, this supports metabolic flexibility, the body's ability to switch between energy sources efficiently. Metabolic flexibility is associated with better weight management, improved endurance, and faster recovery. Protein quality and timing also play a major role in metabolic repair. Lean meats, fish, eggs, legumes, and dairy products like yogurt and kefir provide amino acids needed for enzyme production and muscle repair. Muscle tissue is metabolically active and plays a key role in glucose regulation. Maintaining muscle mass through adequate protein intake and movement supports long-term metabolic health and reduces the risk of insulin resistance as we age. Now let's talk about antioxidants again, but from a metabolic angle. Oxidative stress damages mitochondria, the energy-producing structures within cells. When mitochondria are damaged, fatigue increases and repair slows. Superfoods like green tea, berries, and dark leafy greens provide compounds that protect mitochondrial function. Green tea, for example, contains catechins that improve fat oxidation and support metabolic efficiency. People who regularly consume green tea often experience improved focus and sustained energy without overstimulation. Let's not forget the role of minerals in metabolic repair. Zinc, found in foods like pumpkin seeds, seafood, and legumes, is essential for immune function, wound healing, and hormone production. Selenium, found in Brazil nuts and seafood, supports thyroid function, which regulates metabolism at a cellular level. When the thyroid is supported, energy production becomes more efficient, and repair processes improve. Now we move into cardiovascular repair, because the heart and blood vessels are central to nutrient delivery. Without healthy circulation, even the best nutrition cannot reach tissues efficiently. Foods rich in nitrates, such as beets and leafy greens, improve nitric oxide production, which relaxes blood vessels and improves blood flow. Improved circulation means better oxygen delivery, faster waste removal, and enhanced tissue repair. Beets are particularly interesting from a medical standpoint. They support endurance, lower blood pressure, and improve exercise performance. Athletes and patients alike benefit from improved circulation because it enhances recovery. But even for people who are not physically active, better blood flow supports brain function, kidney health, and skin vitality. Let's talk about cholesterol, because it is often misunderstood. Cholesterol itself is not the enemy. It is a building block for hormones, vitamin D, and cell membranes. The problem arises when cholesterol becomes oxidized and embedded in inflamed blood vessel walls. Superfoods like oats, legumes, nuts, and olive oil help regulate cholesterol balance by reducing oxidation and improving lipid profiles. Soluble fiber binds excess cholesterol in the digestive tract, reducing its absorption and supporting cardiovascular repair. From an emotional wellness perspective, food also plays a role in how safe and calm the body feels. Chronic stress keeps the nervous system in a constant state of alert, which suppresses digestion and repair. Foods rich in tryptophan, such as turkey, eggs, seeds, and dairy, support serotonin production, which promotes relaxation and emotional stability. When the nervous system feels safe, the body can redirect energy toward healing rather than defense. This is why emotional eating patterns often reflect deeper physiological needs. Cravings are not moral failures. They are signals. Sometimes they indicate blood sugar instability. Sometimes they reflect mineral deficiencies. Sometimes they are linked to stress hormones. Understanding this shifts the relationship with food from control to communication. Superfoods help meet these needs in a supportive way, reducing chaotic eating patterns and improving long-term consistency. As a doctor, I also emphasize the importance of timing and context. Eating whole foods in a calm environment improves digestion and nutrient absorption. Chewing thoroughly activates digestive enzymes. Eating earlier in the day when insulin sensitivity is higher can improve metabolic outcomes. These habits work synergistically with superfoods to enhance repair. Now let's touch on aging, because repair and aging are two sides of the same coin. Aging is not just about time passing. It is about accumulated damage and reduced repair capacity. Superfoods that support antioxidant defenses, mitochondrial function, and hormone balance help slow biological aging. This does not mean stopping aging, but it does mean aging with strength, clarity, and independence. Foods rich in polyphenol, such as berries, olives, dark chocolate, and green tea, activate pathways associated with longevity. These compounds support cellular cleanup processes, helping cells remove damaged components and function more efficiently. From a scientific perspective, this process is essential for long-term tissue health and disease prevention. One of the most empowering aspects of this knowledge is that it puts control back in your hands. Genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. Superfoods influence gene expression through a process called epigenetics. This means your daily food choices can turn certain genes on or off, influencing inflammation, detoxification, and repair. This is not abstract science. It is happening in your body every day, and as we move forward, we begin to see how these superfoods integrate into real-life routines, not as rigid rules, but as flexible tools. The goal is not perfection. The goal is alignment. Alignment with how the human body evolved to eat, move, and recover. When that alignment is present, healing becomes the default state rather than the exception. This brings us naturally into the final layers of repair, including skin health, joint regeneration, bone strength, and long-term vitality, because the body does not heal in isolated compartments. Every system is connected. When you support one, you support all. And understanding how specific superfoods influence connective tissue, collagen production, and structural integrity can change how you think about pain, stiffness, appearance, and mobility over the course of your life, especially as modern lifestyles place increasing strain on joints and connective tissues, and where the right nutritional support can mean the difference between gradual decline and sustained freedom of movement and confidence in your own body as the years go by. And as we continue this journey deeper into the foods that quietly but powerfully support the structure that holds your entire body together. When we talk about the structure of the body, we're talking about the framework that allows you to move, stand, work, age, and live without constant pain. Joints, bones, tendons, ligaments, skin, and connective tissue are not passive structures. They are living tissues that respond every day to nutrition, movement, hormones, and inflammation. Many people accept joint stiffness, back pain, fragile skin, or slow wound healing as unavoidable signs of aging, but from a medical perspective, these are often signs of undersupported repair systems rather than age itself. One of the most critical components of structural repair is collagen. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body. It provides strength and elasticity to skin, joints, blood vessels, and organs. While the body can produce collagen, that process slows with age and is highly dependent on nutrient availability. Foods rich in amino acids like glycine and proline, along with vitamin C, zinc, and copper, are essential for collagen synthesis. Bone broth, slow-cooked meats, fish skin, and gelatin-rich foods provide these building blocks. When combined with vitamin C-rich foods, collagen production becomes more efficient, supporting joint comfort and skin resilience. From a clinical standpoint, joint health is heavily influenced by inflammation and lubrication. Omega-3 fatty acids, once again, play a crucial role here. They reduce inflammatory signals within joint tissues, often leading to improved flexibility and reduced pain over time. This is why people with arthritis or chronic joint discomfort often experience improvement when they consistently consume omega-3 rich foods rather than relying solely on pain medications. Minerals like calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus are essential for bone strength, but bone health is not just about calcium. Vitamin D, vitamin K2, and protein intake all influence how calcium is absorbed and where it is deposited. Leafy greens, fermented foods, dairy products, and fatty fish contribute to this complex system. From a doctor's perspective, strong bones are built through a combination of nutrition, movement, and hormonal balance, not isolated supplements alone. Skin health is another visible indicator of internal repair. The skin reflects hydration status, nutrient intake, hormonal balance, and oxidative stress levels. Foods rich in healthy fats, such as avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil, support the skin's lipid barrier, helping retain moisture and protect against environmental damage. Antioxidant-rich foods like berries and green tea protect skin cells from UV-induced damage and pollution-related stress. Zinc-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, legumes, and seafood support wound healing and immune defense in the skin. Vitamin A-rich foods like carrots, sweet potatoes, and leafy greens support skin cell turnover and repair. From a medical perspective, many skin conditions improve when underlying nutritional deficiencies are corrected rather than treated only with topical products. Let's talk about joints again, but in the context of movement and recovery. Movement sends signals to joints to maintain lubrication and cartilage health. Nutrition provides the raw materials to respond to those signals. Foods rich in sulfur-containing compounds, such as garlic, onions, and cruciferous vegetables, support connective tissue repair and detoxification. These compounds help the body manage oxidative stress generated during movement and exercise. Another often overlooked superfood category is hydration-supportive foods. Water alone is essential, but electrolytes and trace minerals determine how effectively hydration reaches tissues. Foods like cucumbers, watermelon, coconut water, and citrus fruits support fluid balance and joint lubrication. When tissues are well hydrated, friction decreases and recovery improves. Now consider the role of chronic stress on structural health. Elevated cortisol breaks down collagen, weakens bones, and impairs tissue repair. This is why stress management and nutrition are inseparable. Magnesium-rich foods, calming herbal teas, and balanced meals help regulate the stress response. When cortisol levels normalize, repair processes can resume. From a longevity perspective, connective tissue health influences mobility, posture, and confidence. People who maintain joint and bone health are more likely to stay active, socially engaged, and mentally sharp as they age. This creates a positive feedback loop. Movement improves circulation. Circulation improves nutrient delivery. Nutrients support repair. Repair supports more movement. One of the most powerful mindset shifts I encourage is seeing food as daily maintenance rather than crisis intervention. You don't wait for a building to collapse before reinforcing its foundation. Similarly, you don't wait for severe pain or disease before supporting your body's structure. Superfoods used consistently act like preventive maintenance, quietly reinforcing tissues before damage accumulates. Now let's bring this into real life. A person who starts their day with a nutrient-dense breakfast, includes colorful vegetables at meals, consumes adequate protein, and stays hydrated is constantly feeding their repair systems. Over weeks and months, small improvements add up. Stiffness decreases. Skin texture improves. Energy becomes more reliable. These changes often feel subtle at first, but they compound over time. This is where patience becomes a form of discipline. The body does not heal in dramatic leaps. It heals in steady, predictable steps when given consistent support. This is why extreme approaches often fail. They disrupt balance and create stress. Sustainable nourishment creates stability and resilience. From a preventive health perspective, supporting structural health reduces the risk of falls, fractures, chronic pain, and disability later in life. These outcomes are not random. They are influenced by decades of nutritional and lifestyle choices. Superfoods are not about chasing youth. They are about preserving function, and this naturally leads us to the final dimension of repair and well-being, how these foods fit into a holistic lifestyle that supports not just physical health, but mental clarity, emotional stability, social connection, and a sense of purpose. Because the body does not exist in isolation. Health is lived in daily routines, relationships, work, rest, and meaning. Nutrition supports these areas not by forcing change, but by providing the energy and stability needed to engage with life fully. When your body is nourished, your mind is clearer. When your mind is clear, your decisions improve. When your decisions improve, your habits align with long-term well-being. This is how superfoods quietly shape not just your health, but your life trajectory. And as we reach this deeper understanding, it becomes clear that healing is not something you chase. It is something you allow by removing obstacles and providing support. The world's most popular superfoods have earned their place not because of trends, but because they work with the body's natural design. They support repair because they respect biology. And when you align with that design, health becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural outcome of how you live, eat, and care for yourself, especially when you begin to see food not as a source of fear or confusion, but as a reliable partner in building a future where strength, clarity, and vitality are not rare exceptions, but everyday experiences that you grow into rather than grow out of. And this understanding transforms the entire relationship you have with your body and your health. Moving forward into every stage of life, because once you know how to support repair, you stop fearing breakdown and start trusting the intelligence that has been inside you all along. When you truly understand that intelligence, something powerful shifts inside you. Health stops feeling complicated and starts feeling intentional. You begin to realize that your body has always been on your side, constantly adapting, constantly repairing, constantly trying to protect you, even during periods when your lifestyle didn't fully support it. Superfoods are not about becoming perfect. They are about cooperating with this intelligence instead of fighting it. One of the most overlooked aspects of healing is consistency over intensity. People often search for dramatic interventions, expensive supplements, or extreme routines, believing that healing must be aggressive to be effective. But biologically, the opposite is often true. The body thrives on rhythm. Regular nourishment, regular movement, regular rest. Superfoods fit perfectly into this rhythm. They work quietly, steadily, without shocking the system. And this is why they are sustainable. From a medical storytelling perspective, I've seen countless examples of people who didn't change everything at once, but changed enough. They added more whole foods. They reduced ultra-processed foods. They prioritized sleep. They managed stress more intentionally. And over time, markers improved. Blood pressure stabilized. Blood sugar normalized. Joint pain eased. Mood lifted. Energy returned. These outcomes didn't come from force. They came from alignment. Let's talk about mental resilience again, because healing is not just physical. The brain and nervous system determine how safe your body feels. When the nervous system feels threatened, digestion shuts down, immunity weakens, and repair slows. Foods that stabilize blood sugar, provide essential fats, and supply micronutrients send safety signals to the brain. This is why people often feel calmer and more grounded when they eat balanced meals. It's not psychological weakness. It's neurobiology. Social wellness also plays a role here. Eating is a social act in most cultures. Shared meals strengthen relationships, reduce stress, and improve digestion through the parasympathetic nervous system. When food becomes rushed, isolated, or stressful, the body does not absorb nutrients as efficiently. Superfoods consumed in a calm, connected environment are more effective than the same foods eaten under pressure. This is why lifestyle medicine emphasizes not just what you eat, but how you eat. Spiritual wellness, too, is connected. Gratitude, presence, and intention influence hormonal and immune responses. When people slow down and appreciate nourishment, stress hormones decrease, and repair hormones increase. This may sound subtle, but these effects are measurable. The body responds to perception. Safety accelerates healing. Modern health solutions like telehealth and preventive consultations are now helping people personalize these principles. Doctors can assess nutrient deficiencies, metabolic markers, and lifestyle factors more precisely than ever before. But even with advanced tools, the foundation remains simple. Whole foods, balanced meals, consistent habits. Superfoods enhance these foundations, but they do not replace them. Another important point is individuality. No two bodies are exactly the same. Genetics, culture, environment, and personal history all influence how someone responds to food. This is why flexibility matters. Superfoods are not rigid rules. They are options. Tools you can rotate, adapt, and personalize. What matters most is nutrient density and balance over time. When people stop viewing food as a battlefield and start viewing it as collaboration, stress decreases. And when stress decreases, healing accelerates. This is why extreme restriction often backfires. It creates fear, rigidity, and hormonal disruption. Nourishment creates trust and stability. Long-term well-being is built on small, repeated decisions. Choosing water over sugar-sweetened drinks most days. Adding vegetables to meals. Including quality protein. Prioritizing sleep. Moving regularly. These decisions compound. Superfoods simply amplify the benefits of these choices. Preventive health is not about avoiding death. It is about protecting quality of life. Being able to move without pain. Think clearly. Sleep deeply. Connect meaningfully. These outcomes are deeply influenced by nutrition. Superfoods support these outcomes by reducing inflammation, supporting repair, and maintaining balance. As a doctor, I often remind people that symptoms are messages. Fatigue, pain, cravings, mood changes, digestive issues, these are not random. They are feedback. Superfoods help address the underlying needs behind these messages rather than silencing them temporarily, and as we reach the deeper layers of this conversation, it becomes clear that the real power of the world's most popular superfoods is not in any single food, but in the pattern they create. A pattern of nourishment. A pattern of respect for biology. A pattern of long-term thinking in a short-term world. This pattern supports repair not just today, but decades from now. It supports resilience in the face of stress. Recovery after illness. Strength during aging. Clarity during complexity. And this is why these foods have stood the test of time across cultures and generations. When you begin to integrate these foods naturally, without pressure, without fear, without obsession, you build a lifestyle that quietly protects you. Health stops feeling fragile. It starts feeling stable. And that stability becomes the foundation for everything else you want to build in life, because at the end of the day, health is not a destination. It is a relationship. A daily conversation between your choices and your biology. Superfoods simply help that conversation become more supportive, more respectful, and more effective, and as you continue to apply these principles, to listen to your body, to nourish it consistently, you'll notice something subtle but profound. You'll stop asking whether your body can heal, and you'll start trusting that it already is, every single day, responding to the signals you send it through food, rest, movement, and mindset, and this trust changes everything, because once trust is restored, effort decreases, fear dissolves, and health becomes a natural expression of how you live rather than something you chase, and this is where the true transformation begins. Not in doing more, but in supporting what is already trying to work for you beneath the surface, quietly, patiently, waiting for you to give it what it needs to continue the process of repair and renewal that has been happening since the moment you were born and will continue for as long as you allow it to do so, by choosing nourishment over neglect, awareness over autopilot, and long-term well-being over short-term comfort, because that choice, repeated daily, is what ultimately determines how strong, clear, and alive you feel as the years move forward and as your body continues its remarkable ability to heal itself faster than you ever thought possible when given the right support at the right time. When everything comes together, what you begin to see is a complete picture of health that feels grounded, realistic, and deeply human. The world's most popular superfoods are not powerful because they are trendy or rare. They are powerful because they work in harmony with how the human body has always functioned. They support repair by reducing unnecessary strain and providing exactly what cells need to recover, adapt, and thrive. And when you zoom out, you realize this isn't about memorizing 100 foods or following rigid rules. It's about understanding principles and letting those principles guide daily choices. Your body is not a machine that breaks randomly. It is a living system that responds predictably to the inputs it receives. When it receives whole, nutrient-dense foods, adequate rest, movement, and emotional safety, it shifts into repair mode. When it receives chronic stress, ultra-processed food, sleep deprivation, and neglect, it shifts into survival mode. Superfoods help tip the balance back toward repair, even when life is busy and imperfect. One of the most empowering truths in medicine is that healing speed is not fixed. It changes based on environment and behavior. Two people of the same age with the same diagnosis can have very different outcomes depending on how well their bodies are supported. Nutrition is one of the most influential support systems available, and it is accessible every single day. This is especially important in modern life, where convenience often replaces nourishment. When meals are rushed, processed, and disconnected from hunger cues, the body adapts by slowing repair. But when nourishment is restored, even gradually, the body responds with surprising efficiency. This is why people often feel better within weeks of improving their diet, even if nothing else changes. Women's wellness deserves special attention here, because hormonal fluctuations, pregnancy, menopause, and caregiving stress place unique demands on the body. Superfoods that support iron levels, calcium balance, omega-3 intake, and gut health can make an enormous difference in energy, mood, and resilience across different life stages. But the same is true for men, whose metabolic health, cardiovascular risk, and stress responses are also deeply influenced by nutrition. Mental health, too, is inseparable from physical nourishment. The brain is not isolated from the body. It is fed by the same blood, influenced by the same inflammation, and dependent on the same nutrients. When people nourish their bodies well, they often notice clearer thinking, more emotional stability, and better stress tolerance. This does not replace therapy or medical care when needed, but it strengthens the foundation on which those supports work. Social and emotional well-being also benefit when energy improves. People who feel physically well are more likely to engage with others, maintain routines, and pursue goals. Health becomes a facilitator of life rather than a barrier. This ripple effect is one of the most overlooked benefits of preventive nutrition. From a long-term perspective, the goal is not to avoid every illness or challenge. The goal is to build resilience so that when challenges arise, recovery is faster and more complete. Superfoods contribute to this resilience by supporting immune balance, metabolic flexibility, hormonal regulation, and tissue repair. It's also important to acknowledge that access, culture, and personal circumstances matter. Superfoods do not need to be exotic or expensive. Many of the most powerful options are already present in traditional diets around the world. Beans, lentils, vegetables, fruits, herbs, spices, eggs, fish, fermented foods, whole grains. These foods have sustained populations long before modern supplements existed. Science is now confirming what tradition has long practiced. Modern health solutions like preventive screenings, telehealth consultations, and personalized nutrition plans can refine this approach, but they do not replace the basics. They build on them. Technology is most effective when it supports, rather than overrides, biological wisdom. The heart of all this is a mindset shift. Health is not something you earn through punishment or control. It is something you cultivate through support and consistency. Superfoods are tools of support. They reduce friction in the system. They make it easier for your body to do what it is already trying to do. When you eat in a way that supports repair, you are sending a message to your body that it is safe to heal. That message influences hormones, immune signals, digestion, and nervous system tone. Over time, those signals shape how you age, how you recover, and how you experience daily life. This is why the most powerful changes often feel subtle at first. A little more energy in the morning. Less stiffness when you move. Better sleep. Fewer cravings. These small shifts are signs that repair is happening beneath the surface. And when repair becomes consistent, health stops feeling fragile. Ultimately, the story of the world's most popular superfoods is not about food alone. It is about partnership. A partnership between your choices and your biology. When that partnership is strong, the body becomes remarkably capable. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to move in the right direction consistently. Add more nourishment. Reduce unnecessary stress. Respect your body's signals. Let food be part of your healing strategy, not a source of confusion or fear. Because when you do that, something powerful happens. You stop fighting your body and start working with it. And in that cooperation, healing accelerates. Repair becomes more efficient. Energy becomes more reliable. And health becomes something you live inside of, not something you chase from the outside. That is the real promise behind these superfoods. Not instant miracles, but lasting strength. Not control, but trust. And when trust is restored, the body does what it has always known how to do: repair itself faster than